That long term game. Uh, Whenever we think of long term game, achieving long term success, while being happy, while staying joyful, while not wrecking our health and relationship, we usually let out a sigh of relief because it feels so much to take on to achieve that, right? So, in this podcast, I'm going to be giving you three strategies to look at, or three ways to think about long term success. Because as a high performance coach, the definition of long term success is, how do you achieve that long term success while staying happy, joyful, being healthy, not wrecking your relationship, and also being of service. If all of these things matter and you still want to go and achieve that, don't skip this podcast. Thank you for being here with me on the Performance Edge podcast. This is Karthik. So let's start with the first thing. The first virtue that we need to build, if you're really up for the long term game, is the virtue of patience. The virtue of patience. When I was learning a little bit more about it, like when we know that someone is being patient with the results that they want to achieve, don't you think it showcases a high degree of self trust? You actually need a very high degree of self trust and a very high level of optimism if you really have to stay patient, even in a kind of a very challenging situation. If you're someone who's kind of patient and kind of looking at the situation, assessing it, and trying to give a response to that situation or respond to that situation, it simply means that you trust in yourself to figure a way out of it. And same thing applies even for a long term game of success that not many people are ready to play in this day and age. They just want quick wins, shortcuts to making a lot of money, and they're never fulfilled. They may achieve it over the short term, but over the long term, they may not feel joyous. They may not be in service. They may wreck their relationship, health, and so on and so forth on this quest to achieve quick wins. So, patience, my friend, that's the virtue that we have to build. So, it builds, as I said, when you have the trust in you, when you are role modeling someone else whom you trust, that, hey, I can follow this path, I can figure things out, I can get the right, mentorship and coaching to go and get to that spot that I want. So that's the first thing. The second point when it comes to achieving long term success. So when you go from the end, when you reach the end of your success, when you think of what that looks like, and when you start breaking that down, what you'll essentially know is that you had a series or set of smaller habits, smaller routines that you did consistently over time, that eventually compounded and allowed you to get to that place of what you call it as success, right? So essentially, if I were to look at your habits, your routines, uh, your thought patterns, the consistent ones, it's very evident where you're going to reach, right? Great habits compounds to great results. Not so great habits, not so great results. No habits, no results. As simple as that. So that's the second point. And the third point I want to share comes from a very common statement that we all say, that don't be the smartest person in the room, don't be the smartest person at your job. If you're that, probably you are obviously going to play at a little lower level because of the average capacity of people whom you hang out with. You're obviously going to lower your own standards. So if you're the smartest person, maybe it's time for you to upgrade the group that you hang out with. Find the right community, find the right peer group who can challenge you, who it's not about feeling small about yourself, but it's about aspiring to get to the next level, to be part of a bigger group, to play at a bigger level. So these 3 points I thought I'll quickly share with you. on how do you actually achieve the long-term success. And if you study anyone who has ethically achieved that success they want, you will see traces, a huge traces of all of these qualities. So I just want to prompt you today to just go and journal about it. What does patience mean to you? What did you learn about patience while you're growing up and as an adult? Where do you have to practice this attribute or this quality of patience a lot more? Simply journal on this and you will get some perspective on this virtue, and that's going to help you take your game, rather the long-term game, to a whole different level. Thank you so much for being here. This is Karthik signing off. I'll catch you soon in the next one. Take care.